Manchester United, to a man, were absolutely brilliant in their win over Manchester City. For the time being, Manchester is red. An absolutely incredible performance from every single player in a United shirt today, and an absolutely incredible performance from Michael Carrick in his first game. And we are going to break it all down here right now. If you are a fan of the content, please remember to leave a like on the video, subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And let's get into analyzing the Manchester Derby. So a few things. First, we'll start off, of course, with the starting 11s, as we always do. Carrick opted with a 4-2-3-1, if you will, with Lemens in goal, Diogo Dalot. Great to see Harry Maguire back, who, by the way, I thought was absolutely incredible in this game, especially when it came to the defending of Erling Haaland. Lisandro as well, absolutely brilliant. There were certain people who said this guy can't play as a centre half in the Premier League. Shocking. Luke Shaw as left back, Kobe and Casemiro as the two midfielders. Ahmad back from AFCON, so important for Manchester United in the way that they want to play. Bruno in his preferred number 10 role, that more free role where we know that he can create and cause a lot of damage. Shockingly for me anyways, Patrick Dorgu opted over Mateus Cunha for Michael Carrick. I think it was because United knew that they were going to soak up a lot of pressure, and I think Carrick's idea was when United get the ball, we know how direct Bruno likes to be. Can Dorgu get in behind? And we're going to get into that a little bit later. And a little bit surprisingly as well was the Brian Mbeumo starting over Benjamin Sesko at the 9 position, where again, I thought all things considered, just coming back from AFCON, thought he was absolutely brilliant. Manchester City went with their typical 4-1-4-1. I thought it was an absolutely incredible performance from every single player in a red shirt today, but there are a few specific performances that I want to pick out. So I think coming into this game, we all probably figured that Manchester City were going to be the team that dominated possession more, and with the ability and the quality that Manchester United have, I thought the idea was going to be to soak up the pressure and then to hit Manchester City on the counterattacks, where I think that they can be extremely vulnerable. Obviously, they are missing a few key players in defense. So I really thought that this was going to be an area in which Manchester United could cause damage to Manchester City. And I think, obviously over the course of the 90 minutes, that is exactly what happened. So again, it was a 4-2-3-1 on paper and kind of what it looked like in possession. But off the ball, it was very much a 4-4-2 with, the flat back four of Dalot, Maguire, Lisandro, and Luke Shaw. And then you can see here, it's a midfield two of Kobe and Casemiro, Ahmad as well over here, and Dorgu over here, and then Bruno and Mbeumo as the two men up top. And I actually think that Carrick alluded to it brilliantly in his presser after the game. He was asked about Bruno Fernandes, and just all of the things that he provides for the side offensively. But, he answered something along the lines of, we all know how special Bruno is when he's on the ball and the abilities that he has. But I think off the ball, Bruno and Brian did a really good job of, really defending from the front and being as compact as they could. We know that Manchester City have the quality of players like Foden, players like Carrick in the second half, players like Bernardo Silva, who like to get into the pockets and receive. And we know, obviously, with Rodri, his ability to play these line-breaking passes. But I thought defensively as a unit, not just the back four, but the group together defended really well. And, of course, were rewarded with the clean sheet, which I thought was fully deserved. Again, I thought this was a very consistent thing where you can see here, Foden's looking to play in the pockets, Bruno screening, Ahmad's ready to jump to Nathan Ake, Casemiro's here, ready to jump to Bernardo Silva. And oftentimes what was happening was Dorgu was really tucking in to really get compact. United were very compact. I thought they were very disciplined. Obviously, especially with Dalot and Luke Shaw getting booked in the first half quite early on as well. They had a difficult job, of course, having to deal with Doku and Semenyo 1v1. I thought, like I said, to a man, I can't speak highly enough about the organization, the I know it's a pretty cliche word, but just the mentality of the way that these players bought in to Carrick's ideas in just a few days, and the way that they went about this game, I thought it was absolutely brilliant from everybody involved, and it was really really good to see them get the 3 points. And again, I know these are very similar, but I think this kind of just goes to show what Manchester City were looking to do. We know that they like to have their wingers nice and wide. We know that Pep likes to push midfielders to pin the opposition back line. But I thought, the idea of tucking Dorgu into this space here and making it really difficult, for City to play through Manchester United at all. The only opportunities that were really coming was when they'd go out wide and they would try to go 1v1 with Semenyo against Shaw or with Doku against Dalot, who I actually thought both of them, again, the fullbacks, aside from, a sloppy pass from Diogo, and you could argue maybe a little bit lucky to escape without a red card. I thought Shaw and Diogo were pretty good, given the circumstances. And then again, I just want to speak about when people talk about the United way, when people talk about, the United DNA, if you will, and people say, it's boring or you shouldn't talk about it. I think these were just a few passages of plays that just go to show how Manchester United want to play, and I thought they executed the game plan quite well. Casemiro, again, a timeless player, plays a really good breaking line pass to Bruno here, and then Bruno finds this pocket of space, and then Ahmad's making the run off the shoulder. And as we all know, there were a few times where Manchester United were caught offside, but the intent in which United were going about their attacking play, I thought was really exciting. It was, in my opinion anyways, the best overall performance from minute 1 to minute 90 that Manchester United have had so far. And you have to credit the players, and you also have to credit Michael Carrick as well. This, for me, is why you have to try and get Bruno Fernandes as close to goal as possible, as often as possible. And when you can get him playing here, we know the runs. We know how intelligent Bruno is. He likes to make these runs in behind. Obviously, here he puts the ball in the back of the net, but he's offside. But the ability that we have with Lisandro Martinez and even Aiden Heaven, I know he didn't start today, to play that ball over the top is really important. Bruno really likes to make these peeling runs off of the back line. Got really unlucky. It was a really close call. Ake was just playing him offside, but this is why you need Bruno in those more advanced positions. There are going to be moments in games where he drops deep to be able to progress the ball, just because that's the kind of player he is. He's more of that maverick mentality. He kind of plays everywhere on the pitch. But Bruno is a difference maker when United are trying to attack, and I thought, him playing in the more traditional number 10 role, if you will, really showed his qualities once again in this game against City. And just before we get into the goals, I just want to, again, talk about United's defensive organization. We've spoke a lot about the lapses of concentration over the course of this season, going into last season as well, where there are moments in a game where it seemed like the players switched off. And I just want you to look at this picture here, and I just think it speaks volumes on how compact and how well organized and disciplined, I think, is the word I want to use about this Manchester United performance. And again, I think it's both. I think you have to credit the players, but you also have to credit the head coach as well, because just look at how difficult it is here for City. We know that they like to overload the midfield and create little shapes so that they can play through, but just look at the discipline and how narrow Bruno and Mbeumo are, and Casemiro and Kobe and Ahmad tucking in and Dorgu tucking in. Every single player was just committed to doing every single thing that they needed to do in this game to get the 3 points. And I think we can talk about the tactical side of the game, which is what this channel is for. But when you have buy-in from every single player and they do their job on the day, I think with the quality that Manchester United have, they can beat anybody. And I think, again, it showed in this performance, especially now. This is obviously after United have gone a goal up. Just the commitment to defend throughout the entire 90, given the fact that we've seen some very poor defensive displays from this Manchester United side over the course of the season. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the goals. So this comes from a set piece for Manchester City. Harry Maguire, as colossus as he is, he clears the ball out. Ball finds the feet of Mbumo, and we know how rapid he is, and you know who is ready to pounce as soon as United are in this position. And again, I mean, it's just incredible from Bruno. He's carrying, and then he plays that little slip ball, the perfect timed slip ball to Brian Mbumo. It's just the perfect timing. He plays it. It's the weight of pass is incredible. The timing in which he plays the ball is incredible. He has Ahmad outside as well, but I think he makes the right decision. Of course, he does, playing it to Mbumo. Mbumo goes far post on Donnarumma. Donnarumma can't reach and save it. And just like that, it's 1-0 to Manchester United. And on the second goal, obviously Matheus Cunha does incredibly well to get this ball into the box. You can argue that Nico O'Reilly shouldn't let this cross come in. But this movement from Patrick Dorgu is the movement of an attacker in the box. Rico Lewis here needs to be aware that Dorgu's on his shoulder. Matheus Cunha gets his ball in, and Dorgu's in this position here, just outside the box. And look at the position he gets into when the ball is just outside the 6-yard box. I mean, Patrick Dorgu does a really good job to get in front of Rico Lewis, puts the ball in the back of the net, puts Manchester United in a very comfortable position. It's 2-0 at this point, and we all know that Manchester United hold on to get the 3 points. Now look, if I'm being completely honest, there were still some moments in which Manchester United didn't necessarily look the best when they were pressing. There were a few times where City got out quite easily. There were also a few big chances that United created that, again, I've complained about it in the past, this season specifically, that they haven't taken their chances, and that happened again. But I think the reality is a 2-0 win against Pep Guardiola's City at home, the Manchester derby. It's impossible to leave that game upset. It's impossible to leave that game anything but ecstatic. The fact that Manchester United walk away with 3 points, and it doesn't get any easier. Now the page flips. United travel to the Emirates to play the league leaders Arsenal next week. It's Michael Carrick against Mikel Arteta. Obviously, a lot to play for both sides. Arsenal are pushing for the title. United are pushing for Europe. It should be an incredible game. And I don't think we can get carried away. I think in the past, United fans have gotten carried away from performances like this. You know, new manager bounce, if you will, whatever you want to call it. But I saw some really good things from Michael Carrick's men. I saw some really good football from Kobe, from Casemiro, from Bruno, from Lisandro. Again, I could name everybody. I thought everybody was brilliant today. And you enjoy this win, but you have to look forward. There is still a lot to play for. Is the fact that Manchester United are only playing 1 game a week due to the fact that they're out of both cups going to benefit them, going to give Carrick some more time on the grass? I mean, we said the same thing about the previous manager. But hopefully, this can be the point of the season where Manchester United finally find a way to turn things around. But let me know what you thought about the performance in the comments down below. Let me know who your man of the match was in the comments down below. Remember to hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. That is it for this one. I appreciate everybody for watching. I'll chat to y'all again very soon. Until next time, peace.